Hello, this is Level With Me. This is my show where I play through games and talk about what I think the level design is doing. And today we are still playing through Black Mesa. We're still about a third of the way through. We're in a very meaty chapter called Blast Pit. We're about halfway through the Blast Pit chapter, so let's get that started. Yeah. Just as a quick refresher, Blast Pit is one of the most iconic chapters of Half-Life 1, and it was probably one of the first ones to get remade during Black Mesa source development. So, that's both a good and bad thing. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, hello, Max. Hello, Tin Kelp. Hello, Roman. Hello, Living Chris. What's with that rock music? Is that is that my Spotify, or is that in the game? It looks like that's in the game. I have no idea what's going on. Okay. Oh right, what happened last time? I think what happened last time was I wanted to no clip. I just died. I think what happened last time, we ended with a giant game crash because I wanted to show you how Blast Pit is constructed, but it turns out there's a giant bug inside the renderer of Source Engine 1 where it has a... I'm gonna turn the music down. No offense to the composer. Wait, did that even do anything? So last week we did crash because I no-clipped to try to look at the whole level, but then when I looked at the whole level, that overflowed the vertex buffer inside Source Engine 1's renderer, which is limited to 32,467 or whatever that power of 2 number is. So that was kind of sad. So I'm not going to no clip, and it's a very tricky. So it's a very tricky thing. It's very sneaky on the part of the Black Mesa development team, conveniently crashing the game whenever I want to try to show their construction secrets. So, although last week we did have a developer from Black Mesa Source in the chat, and they were talking about how they actually had to optimize this level a lot to stay within that vertex buffer limit. So unfortunately I can't no clip and show you the construction, but suffice to say, it's pretty interesting. Blast Pit has a really interesting layout where right now we're in the central hub area, and we keep going off into these spokes to turn on different parts of the level. And the way it handles that hub is that this airlock is like a secret level transition room where each time we go through this, you might notice the screen flickers a little bit. That's to try to mask the teleport that's going on. So when we go inside that room, it teleports us into an identical room somewhere else in the map area, and then we are actually exploring it. So it's actually not physically occupying the same space. And this is a trick that a lot of people use whenever they want to do some kind of level design space trick. For example, if you've played any level with like seamless time travel, as in like Dishonored or Titanfall 2, I believe, has a time travel. I should probably play Titanfall 2 at some point for this stream. That's how they do it. They build different copies of the level, and you're teleporting between them secretly. It's not really made explicit. Okay, let's try to play some of this game and finish this chapter. I'm gonna jump across and not die this time. So now we're at the very bottom of this. Now we're at the very bottom of the silo area, and oh my god. And we have to get past these tentacles. Again, the tentacles are like these big set piece monsters that we only see, I think, in this chapter, and then maybe in Zen, and I think briefly during surface tension. I think those are the only times we see these tentacle monsters, so they're kind of special. They're like special boss monsters that you can't kill ordinarily. So the way to get past these again is they respond to sound. So you have to throw explosives to attract their attention away from where you want to go. But it turns out that tentacle is instead looking directly where I want to go. So that doesn't help. I need to throw... The grenades in this are a little bit strange. I can't say I like the feel of the grenades in Black Mesa. Let's see. I think I already went through that door, so I'm gonna try to sneak around over here and go up this ladder. I'm not sure which of the side door spokes I'm missing, which makes this level a little bit tricky, but I guess I've gone through all of them? I don't know. Have I? Well, I guess we can go check. People in the chat are saying, Divine Augustine says the destroyed fence props look strange. Yeah, I agree. Wild Peaks in the chat says it almost looks like pieces of rope. Yeah, and it's a little bit strange about how they like clump together like that as well. I mean, this isn't physics-based destruction. At least I don't think so. Like, I can't pick up any of these things. That would be cool if you could pick up pieces. If you run out of grenades, you could, like, pick up pieces of the railing and throw it to distract the tentacles. That might be, like, a cool gameplay thing. But I guess it's not to be. Is everything on now? Can I actually do this? Okay, let's see if all this, so... That light is on, that light is on, that light is on. Yeah, I guess it's all lit up. So now I can press this giant green button and we can see what happens. I think technically, if we wanted to be a little bit more accurate, we should be roasted alive and dead as well, because it's literally a rocket engine.
Well, I guess it's true. If it bleeds, you can kill it.
And the shielding on this control room was totally compromised, so we probably should have died. But you know, it's a video game. We can be a little bit silly. Oh, these fallen light fixtures look a little bit strange. Oh wait, are these light fixtures or? Oh no, these were the panels on the window, I guess.
Man, how cool is this?
What?
I sure hope there ain't more of those things growing around the base.
One thing, I think, one thing that I do like about some of Black Mesa's approach is that a lot of the NPCs have unique dialogue based on the set piece you find them in. So I think that helps differentiate them. It's kind of nice. It's a nice move, nice gesture.
Jenkins is at peace now. I can feel it.
Oh, very somber. In the chat, Roman Lux says, in the original, you do lose a bit of health during the launch. Okay. So I guess that was cut. Maybe it would feel anticlimactic if you finally activate the rocket engine and you kill them, but then you end up dying during the finale. That probably feels bad. So I can see why you would have cut the damage, but I think if you were approaching this from like an immersive sim perspective, you would want to be consistent. Where if this rocket engine is hot enough to kill this unkillable boss monster, it's probably hot enough to kill you as well. I thought we were only halfway through Blast Pit, but I guess that was pretty much the end. Oh, now we've fallen. Now there's some radioactive waste. Some of the nice Zen growth here a little bit. Can I open this door? Does this work? No, that's a fake button. I am playing through I'm still playing through Half-Life Alyx because it's like super big and super long. And one thing about Half-Life Alyx is that the Zen growth and infestation in it is like super detailed. It's kind of unfortunate that Black Mesa did take as long as it did, because now when you look at this Zen growth here in comparison to Half-Life Alyx looks like super detailed and like photo scanned, and then it's all animated and stuff. And now you look at this and you're like, oh, this isn't as fancy looking now. It's not as impressive. Because, graphics, facelifts, and remasters, these are all relative, right? What looks good in a video game changes over time. I mean, obviously, that's the whole point of a remaster, but even remasters age, and at some point you have to remaster the remasters. That's when it gets a little bit silly. Let's see. What are people saying in the chat? Yeah, it would have been cool if they interacted more with the damage. I think I like how there's like a dead, charred body here, even though it's kind of gruesome and creepy. It's like, and then there's some flaming tentacle parts here to kind of sell the idea that stuff was set on fire and stuff did melt. I think maybe I would have appreciated more scorch marks or something on the concrete. This whole room doesn't quite feel like it was incinerated. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I don't know much about incineration. Okay, let's dive into this water here. Oh, that's new. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. You might notice in the lower left of the screen, it shows you how much oxygen you have. Yeah, I think that's new. I don't remember seeing that before. Wait, where am I supposed to go? Ah, okay, that was like some kind of rocket housing thing. Ooh, I like this. This is kind of nice. I like the whole idea of having to swim underneath and then back out. It's a cool swimming kind of flow. I also just like swimming in games in general because swimming enables that, more, it enables more verticality in your level layout. More games should have swimming. I'm pro swimming. Let's see. Where should I go now? Should I go over here? No, that's not real. And now we're in some kind of like toxic waste. One of many toxic waste disposal facilities, which we'll be going through. People in the chat are saying the water in this section in the original was a lot more opaque and a lot more difficult because you have to swim more blindly. But now that the water's translucent, it's much nicer. Oh, okay. Good to know. Quasi Otter asks, "Am I still working on some Quake maps?" Yeah, I am. I just have to finish my British lad masculinity chair hitting map based on that viral video. I have to finish that. But when I do that, when I finish that, maybe I'll get back to Quake mapping. In the chat, BV728 notes that the oxygen meter was introduced with Half-Life 2. Yeah, but it wasn't a number, right? For some reason, when it's a meter in Half-Life 2, the oxygen meter, to me that feels very different than having a number tick down. I don't know. Oh, I totally flubbed that jump. Oh well, who cares? Oh, I should recharge here probably. I like the whole, the fluids shader here is pretty nice. Let's no clip around and look at it. It's always setting cheats back to. It's always disabling cheats. I always have to re-enable it. Yeah, I like this whole water effect. They're using some kind of like flow shader thing. The UV scrolling looks a little bit funny, but the effect still holds up okay from a distance, I think. But this whole scrolling UV thing, like flow shader, actually looks pretty low tech. It looks like it's scrolling at a pretty even speed, so it's not necessarily like a flow shader. It seems more like it's, yeah, just a typical linear transform based on the UVs. I remember the first time I saw this effect was probably Counter-Strike Source. I think on the CS Militia map, there's like a nice river, and they have scrolling water texture effects on that. And I remember thinking, wow, that looks so great. That looks so realistic. Let's see. Anything else we're missing here? Oh, I like having this little door here. That's like a nice gesture. It's like, yeah, it's like a fake little door. It does look a little bit narrow in a strange way. Like there's not enough clearance on this side of the wall, but oh, and I like the particles. The particles mesh well with the actual water geometry. So good work on that. That's pretty tricky to do. Let's see. I like this turbine design as well. Do I die if I go in here? Yeah, I think I get hurt if I go in here. Let's see, anything else to talk about? I would say as a nitpick, the light sources on these girders, these little light, glowy light sprite things, feel really strange to me. I don't know if you'd necessarily want to put these on the girders like this. Also, the fact that they're white glow sprites doesn't quite jive with the rest of the yellowy, warm industrial lighting here. But all in all, I do like the overall shape of the room. It's pretty interesting. Right, like all the walls have some like curvature to it. It feels very like flowy to me, especially how this flows that way, but then the silo wall continues to flow this way. That's like a nice feel to me. Let's see, anything else to talk about? No, I think that's good. We can move on. And I can go up this ladder? Oh. What's up here? Oh, isn't this just back to where I was, though? Do I go through this? It's a fake door. Huh, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to make that jump? Maybe I went the wrong way. Was I supposed to, like, fall? That's too long of a fall. Oh yeah, I guess I was supposed to go that way instead. So maybe I'm supposed to, like, do this? And then go this way? And then go up here. Oh, and then we're in this giant room right here, continuing the silo theming from before. I like how this pipe enters the wall at an angle, but I don't like how it just joins in this kind of messy way. It doesn't really fit the cleanliness of the rest of the map construction style. Well, I like this though. I like that there's a little plywood. There's a little bit of strange. Is that shadow aliasing from the cascading shadow map? I guess you might need to set the bias on that shadow map to be a bit more forgiving. But yeah, I like this. There's like a nice bit of asymmetry going on here. Oh, that pipe is shiny and slimy in a weird way, though. Also, the texture repetition on it feels a little bit strange, too. I have to do this. I have to, like, turn this winch? I like the valve model. I like how it's kind of soft. You know, it's almost like it's made of rubber a little bit, or like molded metal. Wait, did I do that right? Oh, cool. It's like oh, I hoisted this pipe segment into place. Okay, let's see if it works. So now I should be able to jump across. I like how it's physicsy. I think these cables look too thin to be holding this pipe segment, though. Let's see. People in the chat are saying, "Oh, uh-oh, what just happened?" People in the chat are saying head crabs in here look so tiny now compared to the head crabs in Half-Life Alyx. Sean Noonan says, yeah. Yeah, I think I agree. I mean, I think partly they're big and chunky because the scale in Half-Life Alyx just feels so different, right? Now they're like little chickens instead of big chunky chickens. Where am I? What's going on? Oh, okay. No smoking. The decal on the blending mode on this decal is a little bit strange. Oh, and stylistically, this part of the map just feels, yeah, completely different. You can tell it's just a completely different level designer than before. Oh, now we're in Powerup. Powerup is like a semi-iconic chapter in Half-Life. Powerup has this central kind of Garg set piece where we have to, not get killed by that giant monster outside. Its name is Garg, and we have to somehow, oh my god. Oh, I like that it crouches to look at us underneath. That's kind of a nice touch. We have to somehow run past that giant scary monster with flamethrowers, and somehow complete the level. And that's kind of the main set piece of this entire level. So I like that it's like a mini version of Blast Pit where it's this the Garg arena is like the central hub, but it's a dangerous hub, right? Traditionally in video games level design with the hub level design pattern, usually you make the hub into like a safe place, so like a base for the player or a safe house. But here the hub is dangerous and scary and you don't want to hang out in the hub actually. I think what a lot of first-time players might do is they might shoot at the Garg, but that's useless. The Garg is basically a special set-piece boss monster, kind of like the tentacles that we were just fighting before. You have to fight the Garg with puzzles instead of your weapons, although technically I believe it is possible to kill a Garg with enough explosives. Or at least it was in the original. How am I gonna get out? That's a good question. Maybe I just have to walk away and then they'll get bored? Maybe there's an alternate way around? Let's see. No, looks like... I can hear its footsteps. I think it got bored and walked away. Yeah, looks like it got bored and walked away. I think one strange thing about this encounter was that it gave us trip mines inside this room. But what are you supposed to do with the trip mines exactly? It's almost like it's implying you're supposed to use the trip mines against the Garg to kill it, but that's probably not recommended. I mean, you could probably kill the Garg, maybe. We do have a lot of grenades and satchel charges and trip mines. We could maybe kill the Garg, but really you're not supposed to. Oh my god, it came back. Look at that Garg dick. It has like giant arms for dicks. Anyway, let's just wait for it to walk away again. While we're waiting for the Garg to walk away, let's look at some of this room. Let's see, this wall design is continued, carried over pretty faithfully from Half-Life 1. This is what the actual texture looks like. I like that it's extruded a little bit. So you can see that there's some like geometry to it, and then they actually end it right there, so there's like a little bit of blank space right there where it would be snapping together. Oh, there's some Magnum ammo. I'm full up on Magnum ammo. In Half-Life 1, couldn't you hold more than 18 bullets of Magnum ammo in reserve, if I recall correctly? Let's see what else. The lighting in this is a kind of a mess. There's like 4 or 5 different light fixtures, but then the lighting just feels so spotty. I think I would have lit this room very differently. I probably would put... I think I would have put a light fixture, first of all, because we fell in this pipe segment. I would have put maybe a light fixture right here to help illuminate the way out from this pipe segment. And then I think I will have put a really strong floodlight right here, shining on this stairwell to push the player more towards there, and also highlight the head crab encounter, because the head crabs spawn here and walk towards you. So yeah, I think I would have lit this pretty differently. But right now, yeah, it just feels really splotchy in this strange way. Oh, okay, the Garg's gone. I'm gonna make a run for it. Oh, there's the Garg. Ah! Think we're safe in here. Okay, no, we're not. Ah! Uh-oh. That encounter's kind of funny, because... So what's supposed to happen is, you know, you run through, you can't stay there, because the Garg has the flamethrower attack. So instead you have to make a run for it. But then when you run for it, now you're trapped by all these giant explosive barrels and boxes. So now you're like, uh-oh, I need to be careful, because if these detonate, I'm going to die. And then the game spawns these 2 Vortigons on you. So now it's a fight or flight kind of thing. Normally with Vortigons, you might find some cover. but cover behind an explosive barrel does not feel like cover exactly, right? So that kind of puts you into an interesting trap where here I think the good play would involve rushing the Vortigaunts and trying to kill them outright instead of trying to hide from them. Let's see. In the chat, Sean, concurs with the lighting. Seems to service the realism of the environment rather than the gameplay. Yeah, I think I agree on that. And I think, yeah, I just don't know what's going on with the lighting story here. It's just really feels confusing to me. So we have this giant. I like the idea of this triangular, like, little lighting alcove thing. That's kind of cool. That's an unusual shape. Feels very Quake to me. But then you'd have to just try so hard to project this great shadow down here when it doesn't really need it. And also, there's just so much light surrounding it that it just feels wrong. It feels more like it got painted on at the last minute onto the floor. It doesn't really feel like it's giving... You need to give this light enough space to breathe, I think, if you are going to do something like this. Same thing here. I like the choice of fixture. This is like an industrial cage light fluorescent thing, but it's just... Yeah, this isn't the approach I probably would have done with lighting this environment. It just doesn't give off enough light for how big it is. So then you have to have all these spotty fixtures everywhere, and then they're each giving off a little spot of light. If I wanted to be mean, I would call this the Unreal school of lighting, where you just have little spots of light everywhere, and it doesn't add up to anything. But that's just me being mean and trying to roast Unreal level designers. Oh, more Vortigaunts. Run away. The AI on this was a little bit strange, though. The Vortigaunts were like trying to their turning speed was too low, or like they were strafing in a strange way. The encounter played out in a weird way. I wish the Vortigaunts maybe rushed me just now or something. I don't know. Oh, why am I trapped? I was getting stuck on this. Okay. Are these explosive? Was I supposed to shoot that? No, those aren't explosive.
Jesus. You don't know how close you were to getting one between the eyes. Listen, mister, if you can get the power on, that train down there will take us to the surface. I would try myself, but it's a long way down to the generator room. And there's things in the way.
Oh, oops. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I can't kill that one? Wait, why is that guy necessary? I don't remember that. Oh, man. And now it's like punishing me. Putting me all the way back here. It's okay, this encounter can play out differently. I think the railing... Their shock attack got blocked by this railing. You might want maybe delete this railing, and that'll give the Vortigaunts more maneuvering space. Okay, this time I won't shoot him. I guess me being trigger happy. I guess he was necessary. Oops.
Mister, if you can get the power on, that train down there will take us to the surface. I would try myself, but
Alright, he needs to turn on the tram, which we need for on a rail. The game is giving us so much Magnum stuff. He has a Magnum, I have a Magnum, there's a Magnum there, there's more Magnum ammo here. A little bit strange to have so much Magnum ammo suddenly. And then finally we get this Vista room where we can actually get a good view of the hub room, because previously I had to make that mad dash for survival. But now you can see how it's organized. There's actually like several different entrances and exits. Now we can get a good look at the Garg as well. There's some instructions about what we need. We need to check the power and check the track, and the lights are on. And then there's also a giant sign that says power is off, in case you missed all that stuff. There's also additional red lights to help signal that things are broken. Oh, that's a... I think maintenance is spelled incorrectly and HVAC is spelled incorrectly. You need to fix that probably. But I like all these unique little control panels. This is a nice little prop in general. Earlier in the chat, oops, sorry I missed, someone was saying in the chat, let's see, the thing that stood out for me in Half-Life Alyx, for me among other things, was the lighting, which was very consistent throughout. Yeah, that's actually something that Valve also did for Half-Life 2. They standardized the light fixtures, and level designers were supposed to... level designers were supposed to use the same light fixture with the same light settings, that it did feel more consistent. I guess they continued that. Oh. I didn't know that was gonna fall. Good thing I jumped on this segment instead. I'm just trying to get some pot shots off on that. Where'd that head crab go? And then Megaspell says, is it difficult to do special stuff like breaking the railing in a certain spot? Does that require a lot of extra work? Yeah, here you can see that requires each different, when you deform the railing like this, that requires an environment artist to model a separate variant of that railing prop, and then the level designer also has to script it to either play an animation that deforms that railing, or the level designer needs to script it to actually swap out the different railing meshes. So it's non-trivial work to set that up, and you know, it's not always worth it, really. And if you don't put enough work into it, like this is a fairly unique railing deformation here. You can see you end up with something like the blast pit encounter, where each railing segment was destroyed separately, and then they all looked like random spaghetti on the ground instead of an actual destroyed railing. Let me scroll forward in the chat. Ooh, let's magnum that head crab. Yeah, let's magnum that head crab. The game, I mean, here, it seems like they're giving us so much magnum ammo, and they've basically given us 0 pistol or MP5 ammo, so... It's been a big ammo sink, so I guess they do want you to use the magnum like that. Oops. Shouldn't have backpedaled like that. Uh-oh, now I'm trapped. I got stuck against this pipe. The head crabs cornered me. Very clever head crabs. But this chapter's giving us so much health anyway, it doesn't even matter so much. I can play pretty sloppily. Also, I'm just playing on normal for your reference. Oops. Ah. Oh, whoa, what the heck? Wait, what just happened? When they did the shock attack, that triggered an explosive pipe? Or an explosive barrel? And then the explosive barrel triggered that pipe and it exploded? Is that what happened? That's a little bit odd. I mean, it's just a little bit of a shame because my instinct with this encounter was it spawned right when I was right here. So then my instinct is obviously to backtrack behind this wall. But then when I backtrack behind this wall, I don't get to actually see what happens, which is a shame. Maybe what I would have done here is I would probably knock out this wall and replace it with a glass window or something so that the player can at least safely duck behind here and then look through the window and then see everything explode and stuff. But yeah, it's a little bit anticlimactic when you don't get to see what actually happened. Ew, it's like their guts. Ew. Really nice fire effect though. That's a nice particle effect. It almost looks like there's some like geometry going on, but I think that's just regular billboarded particles, I think. But it's a flipbook sprite. Anyway, nice fire effect. See, one thing, I do like how this is continuing a lot of the silo, the like round cylindrical silo typology we've been encountering a lot in Blast Pit. So the transition from that chapter into this chapter feels okay. I think. But then it also feels different because the concrete texture they're using feels older than the Blast Pit concrete texture. So this feels like it was built, we're in the bottom of the silo, essentially, right? So it makes sense why it would be, semi-related, but also different. That was a fun encounter, I guess. Should have, like, dropped a grenade in there, maybe, instead. And on this stream, we've been giving shit to this prop, this ladder rung prop, that it's very hard to see. It's very hard to make out against a wall, especially when the wall is a little bit dark. So that's a critique we want to continue, especially just because a lot of this Blast Pit and Powerup chapter has been super dependent on these embedded metal rung prop to communicate ladders, but then it's not very readable. So definitely make those chunkier, right? I cross over the other side and you can't even see it from the other side of this room. So it's maybe just a little bit too thin, maybe a little bit too realistic. I don't know. In the chat, turrets. Our good friend, the turret. It's gonna, ouch. Maybe I can, uh-oh. How do I... Who's shooting me? Oh, this guy. This encounter, I mean, it was cool that I was cornered, I guess. But gameplay-wise, it did feel a little bit strange. I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to do exactly. You can't quite... I couldn't quite throw a grenade to knock over this turret, because if I threw a grenade against this wall, it would just bounce down here. So that's, that's clearly there on purpose, because this is completely decorative, right? This doesn't actually lead anywhere. So they purposely wanted to make it difficult for you to knock this over with a grenade, to give time for these Marines over here to corner me. But then that kind of ended up with, I guess, a cool thing where the shotgun Marine actually threw a grenade at me, but then they missed through the grenade and they threw the grenade wrong, and then the grenade actually landed over here. So then that Marine actually took out the turret for me, and then I threw another grenade at the Marine and killed them. So I guess that encounter was interesting. But it's very much not Half-Life style, where Half-Life usually does more of a Quake style to the grunt combat, where usually gives you more of an arena, or maybe more like Doom 2020 style, right? Imagine Doom 2020 trapped you in a room and then you have to fight your way out of that room. That's not, Half-Life 1 also follows that style with a lot of its encounters. It usually doesn't want to trap you in there necessarily. What's that? Oh, that's ammo. I couldn't tell what that silhouette was. Very interesting. Oh, I have iron sights on the Magnum. Wait, what? Why are there gibs flying out? What? I can't get a good read on him from this far. There we go. Yeah, a little bit silly when this guy's arm flew out. I guess the grunt was throwing grenades at me, but then the grenades didn't quite reach me. Interesting. So, yeah, this room is pretty faithfully recreated from the original. Some interesting level design for this room is that... Uh-oh. Is there a grunt here? A grunt showed up on my subtitles. Oh, ah! There we go. Let's see. So this room it's pretty difficult to use grenades on any of them. Oh, God. Oh, God. Wait, why are there so many... Did I get him? I'll throw another one. Uh-oh, now I'm running out of health. Is there any health back here? Oh, oops. I guess I'll just grenade him when I see him. Or maybe this is kind of boring to watch. Maybe I'll just turn on God mode. Sorry, I'm not that good at video games. Or patient enough, really. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, okay, so the level design of this room is pretty interesting. There's... So first of all, there's all the grunts come out on these little perches and these balconies, and that's so that grenades aren't super effective on them. Oh, is there a health station back here? I didn't see one. Oh wait, oh there is one. Oops. Okay, I'll turn off God mode. Okay, so this is an iconic room from Half-Life 1, in that this is like the first serious grunt fight you really do have, because I just had to fight like 7 of these dudes, right? And they're popping out from 3 different points, right? One of these is long range, so usually you saw me where I was focusing a lot of my attention right here, and then that lets the grunts sneak up on me right here and right here. Especially that shotgun grunt who showed up right here. So this is meant to showcase the grunts like flanking tactics a little bit and how they can like trick you. It was also interesting, this was almost a fear-like gesture where these turbines exploded and then it ended up creating extra cover for these grunts. I wonder if this was scripted or not. Maybe not, probably not. Or maybe so? I don't know. But, you know, this is usually something I associate with a different games, like a game called Fear, which is also famous for its soldier AI, where the soldiers would often like knock over tables to create cover for themselves. Half-Life AI usually doesn't do that, and the Half-Life 2 Combine soldier AI definitely didn't do that. Let's see. Oh, and there's a health charger down here. Was I supposed to use this one? Oops. But I didn't want to go down here. Oh, they do give you a sign to tell you that there is health down here. But it doesn't make sense to go down here because then you're trapped. Like, then there's like nowhere for you to go. And then if they throw grenades, the grenades will just go down here and then you're dead, right? So that's why I didn't want to go down there in the middle of a fight. It didn't make sense to me. And then you don't want to stay out here because there's explosives out here. So then the game is basically forcing you to fight from here, which you could argue is either really fun or really not fun. I don't know. Again, from like a Call of Duty style of combat, fighting from one entrenched position makes a lot of sense. But if we're talking about Quake or Doom style combat, that doesn't feel the best because you're trapped in that area and now you're just getting shot at. So, you know, games like Call of Duty are about being shot at. Any cover-based shooter is about being shot at, but Quake or Doom are about not being shot at, or about doing more of the shooting yourself. This is trapped, I guess, so I can't go in there. The specularity on this is a little bit strange because this is concrete. Oh wait, no, this is metal. But it's like very dented metal. It reads like solid iron. It's a little bit strange. I think the specularity on this would read better if the spotlights and the lighting on this was just broader and was washing over more of the room. But right now, there's just so much contrast going on and so many hot spots that it's just like feels a little bit obnoxious, this wall. I think we're supposed to go down this elevator, right? Let me check over this side too. Oh, ambush. Was he waiting inside this box? What? I don't even understand what happened. I think he was waiting inside that box. And it's like, okay, I hear him coming. Although I think that ambush is recreated from original Half-Life 1. I think there is a Marine waiting to ambush you in the original too. Is there anything behind over here? I feel like there's a secret over here. No, there's no secrets. Okay, well, that's a dead end. Here's a little control room. Okay, let's zoom out. Let's no-clip and hope the game doesn't crash. Okay, yeah, looks like it's okay. Let's just zoom out and look at this. So the layout on this is super interesting. I like how the layout feels more like a Quake level. I wish the space did pull me in more. Then it might have been more fun to fight in. But it's almost laid out more like a deathmatch level, right? Where there's a lot of like non-linearity a little bit. It's a little bit symmetrical. There's nice use of like meaningful symmetry. There's like little side rooms jutting off of it that go interesting places. Interesting use of verticality. Yeah, I like this whole section. I think this is just some good, clean level design in terms of layout. Yeah, very classic feeling. But again, the layout is faithfully brought over from Half-Life 1, or at least I remember it feeling like this. So good job on that. Okay. Oh, okay, one last thing before we take that elevator down. So this switchback stairs are very interesting, right? Because they could have easily turned these stairs into a very straightforward ramp, right? But instead, these stairs turn so that it's kind of perpendicular to the player flow. And I think one effect of that is that the soldiers, they have to do this zigzag pattern to go up and down. So it's very clear the movement when they're going up and down. In the original Half-Life 1, when they were going up and down, they couldn't shoot at you. NPCs in the original Half-Life 1 could only do one thing at a time. They could talk, they could shoot at you, or they could like move or something, right? One of those three actions. It was a very finite state machine. But this is based on, partly perhaps, on the Combine Soldier AI of Half-Life 2, where that AI is programmed to do a lot of suppressing fire motions. It's programmed to move while firing a lot. So that actually gives you this. So that actually gives the AI this opportunity to like strafe fire you. But it's also a little bit of this shooting gallery vibe, right? Yeah, it gives you this opportunity, gives you more opportunities if you're better at aiming than I am, to pick them out and snipe them out while they're on these stairs. Should I go down these stairs? What goes down there? Or should I take the elevator? Maybe the elevator will be broken and we don't actually have a choice. Let's see. Yeah, the elevator is broken, so we actually do just have to go down this one-way drop here. Can I jump over to these? Yeah, I can. Yay. Oh, look at these pretties. Oh, it's so sad. Oh. That encounter played out really poorly, though, because they run up the stairs, which is really interesting, right? They get to rush up at you, and then you panic a little bit because you see 5 targets at once. But then it's a little bit sad when all you have to do is backtrack, and then they just line up in single file, wait their turn for each of them to die. It's not the best environment for Hound Eyes, right? You know, if you're going to adopt a Hound Eye, make sure you give them plenty of room. You know, you can't have a New York apartment and have a Hound Eye, right? That's not enough space for a Hound Eye. You need you know, they need room to like roam around. They need room to like circle around you. Yeah, a little bit of a shame. I think to fix that, I would have forced more of a one-way drop, maybe right here. Don't let the player backtrack here. I think I would have forced I think I would try to force the player to run into this open area to run away from the Hound Eyes. Because I think letting them backtrack, yeah, just creates that choke point, and then that's not really fun. Are there supposed to be grunts down here? Maybe not. Oh, this feels very... This whole room has a lot of Unreal Tournament energy. Big Unreal energy. BUE. I mean, it is sad when Hound Eyes die, because, yeah, Hound Eyes are cute. Soldiers are not cute. Soldiers represent American imperialism, so they're very much not cute. Hound Eyes do not represent American imperialism. Hound Eyes represent diverse ecosystems, right? And it's not the Hound Eyes' fault they're here, right? The Hound Eye is just trying to survive, defend itself. What's down here? Isn't there supposed to be a bull squid here? Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm confusing this for a similar room in Half-Life Opposing Force. I remember there being a catwalk kind of like this, and then a bull squid on the bottom. Okay, I think I have to jump into these fans. It's the return of the giant fans, I guess. Oh, and there's some body parts here. Gruesome. Oh, and then here's the generator rooms. Well, I like this trash can. I don't know why. It's a good, clean trash can. Let's see, what else is going on? Big signs. On and off. So do I have to turn this on and that on? Very interesting. Oh, and then there's this flashing thing called blocked. One interesting thing about this is I think a lot of video games would be careful about doing this now in 2020, because anytime you have diegetic world text that's really important to the gameplay, that means you have to localize it, right? Partly because, you know, only 20% of the international game market, of the world game market, is using English, right? You also need to localize this into simplified Chinese and Russian, right? So if this is baked into a texture, that's really annoying to localize. That means you have to ship like a different texture pack for each market, which is annoying and terrible. And that also means the texture artists are now in charge of localization, and then that's where you get terrible stuff like a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of the Arabic signs in Call of Duty are just completely wrong because these were Western texture artists dealing with a language that they don't know anything about, and they would just get basic things wrong, right? So you usually don't want texture artists to be doing your localization for you. But if you're going to do these fun, diegetic, immersive sim style in-world puzzles where you have to interpret the signs around you, what do you do then, right? Yeah, especially as in the chat, Lunarin mentions that the German word for blocked is probably like 1 million letters long, right? How would a texture artist even have to fit that in? Or if it's an automated system, like in the last Deus Ex reboot sequel, they actually had this cool automatic system for localizing a lot of their signs. It was all dynamic text meshes. But then that means the text mesh has to be able to reserve enough space based on how your language works. Anyway, it's just really complicated. But good thing we speak English and have that privilege so that we know to read this sign and know that it says blocked. And why is it blocked? Well, let's find out. So if we go down here, we can try to look down here and be like, what is blocking this? And it's not really clear what's blocking it, right? The fan mesh here is pretty thick. It's a very thick fan mesh, and also the grate texture on this is pretty thick as well. So I'm not sure what's blocking it. It's hard to tell from up here. So I guess we'll go downstairs and see what's going on. Oh, and then downstairs, there's like this very interesting encounter where, oh god, there's a zombie. And all these explosive barrels. Are there more zombies down here? Maybe not. And now we see this blocked little chunky generator boy here. Can I go in this door? No, I guess not. And gosh, yeah, this generator, so this generator is very faithful. This is almost exactly what it looks like in the original Half-Life 1. I mean, they don't have this cool little animated piston thing, but the chunkiness on this is very Okay, so again, this is where competing schools of thought on the Black Mesa team might clash, right? For example, if I had still been working on Black Mesa and someone submitted this for feedback, I would have said, no, we should not try to mimic the original brushwork and just retexture it because it looks ugly, right? Pipes in real life do not look like this at all, right? Pipes in real life have more of an actual bend to it. This is a symptom of brushwork, of the limitations of Half-Life 1 era technology. But then, you know, you might get a competing camp where it's like, actually, no, we should keep it charmingly retro, right? We should keep some things very recognizably similar to the original. So what do you do? And to be honest, I think there is no clear answer, right? I guess it's down to the individual level chapter owners to decide what they want to do for each chapter. Obviously, I was probably more of a revisionist. But I think even fans, you know, can't even agree on what it should be. Okay, then let's back out. Oh, someone in the chat says, I thought there were leeches here. I think there aren't leeches down here. Huh. Yeah, I don't see any leeches, sorry. Let's see, I think part of the reason why you wouldn't want leeches down here is because it might discourage players from actually going down here. Like, let's say you go down here and there's leeches and you don't have enough health. Now you're just dead, right? Now you can't complete the game. Or what if you come down here and maybe this is the first time you see the leeches and now you're getting attacked by the leeches. So now you think, oh, that's the wrong way. I shouldn't go down there, right? Maybe it wasn't the best, most clear level design. So maybe that's why they removed the leeches. I mean, you see a lot of those gestures in Black Mesa. Uh-oh, now there's a electricity puzzle I have to dodge. Also, I believe the water was deeper back then, right? Shouldn't there be grunts in here? Maybe I'm misremembering how this plays out. Did I miss anything? Did I forget to push a button? All the buttons are on, right? All the buttons got pushed? Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, I have to take the elevator. That's right. Oh, right, and now there will be grunts here on the elevator. And now we have to fight our way out, which is interesting. One interesting concession, I think, is that there's some crates here. So I'm probably going to try to hide behind these crates and use these as cover, because you can hear there's a bunch of grunts up there now. People in the chat are asking... Owlcar asks, any insight into the process of who got to claim what chapters they got to work on? I think it was kind of first come, first served, if I recall correctly. I don't know, I just joined in like 2008 or something, and I'm like, I want to work on anomalous materials, and then I worked on it. Uh-oh. Who's that? Oh. Sorry, I was distracted. Can I throw grenades up there? Oh no, the grenade just falls back at me. Oh god, ah! Okay, maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe throwing grenades vertically in the air is not good. Okay. Oh, what's that guy doing? Ah. Always don't forget to reload, kids. PSA. Yeah, I'm always mistiming my... Oh, ouch. Oh, now I have like no health. I'm just gonna turn on God mode so I don't die again. Sorry. I kind of wish it spawned a little bit more health for me on that elevator, because the first pass you come through here, you know, you use up all your health and then you don't leave yourself any health. Or maybe one nice thing, if they wanted to make the level easier, is maybe this is initially locked, but then when we come back up, now this cage is unlocked and then there's health in there that we can get. Or, you know, maybe keep it hard. I don't know, some people like their games really hard and they like dying and retrying repeatedly. So, you know, there's also that too. Yeah, there's no health left anywhere, jeez. But I mean, I did like that. I do like the overall flow of that section where, you know, you have to fight your way in and then you have to fight your way out. I just wish there was a little bit more health for me to do it. Oh man, yeah, this section will have been really hard. For people asking how did the grunts get past the Garg, here's the storytelling for that. where the grunts were actually holed up in this. They had set up a little base in this doorway, but then after we went down to go turn on the power, they unlocked the door and came after me. So I guess that's the story of where grunts come from. And that's how babies are made. They come out of locked monster closets.
I'm never gonna make it. You better go on without me. I'll just slow you down.
Oh, he's so brave. Wait, is he turning on? What's he waiting for? Power is on? Oh, wait. Security door is on? Oh, the glass here is broken. Can the Garg actually hurt me from here? Oh, yes. Yes, it can. It's really unclear what that button did, though. Like, I pressed the button, and then it set off that light, but then I thought by security door it meant that door. So it is a little bit confusing. But that's a flaw about player guidance that I guess got carried over from Half-Life 1, where it's the same layout. I guess you're just never really told what the security door is. Okay, we have to jump across here. We have to run our way past the Garg through that door that was open. I guess I'll just do that here. So this is like a fun chase sequence you have to do. The Garg's just gonna chase you down this tunnel, and then you have to run into here. Duck behind this so it doesn't flamethrow you. In the original, the tunnel was much longer. It was a much more extended chase sequence. But now this is where do you get to finally kill the Garg? Oh no, the button's not working. What's wrong? Did I forget to do something? Huh. I guess, yeah, there's a puzzle that I haven't done. Oh. I guess it's to force you to confront the Garg and get flamethrowed a little bit. Oh, I had God mode on, sorry. Okay, now the puzzle's completed. Why do a plug puzzle? I don't get it. I don't know what that added. I mean, maybe it adds... Let's see. It's a twist on the original. It's something you don't necessarily expect. Why add a plug puzzle? The plug puzzle helps sell the idea that we're dealing with electricity, I guess. Did the original have a plug puzzle? I don't even remember. But anyway, now we press this button. And when you press that button, it kills the Garg. Very sad. Oh, and then that's the dead Garg. A little bit anticlimactic. I thought it was gonna explode or something. Oh, ew, look at its guts. Ew. I thought it was gonna explode like Doom 2020 style, so it was gonna explode in like a big like throw guts everywhere all over the room, but I guess not. Like John Carpenter style or something. Oh well. I also predicted it was gonna electrify the rails, and then the rails were gonna hurt us if we were gonna walk on them, which is a theme in On a Rail that we'll explore next week. Oh, and then there's 2 different trains we can choose from. Look at all this choice. Oh, and they built out this room more fully. That's kind of fun. Which train do we choose? I guess either of them. They both go to the same place, right? Oh, and then... Oh, okay. This is very different. In the original, I believe, you have to park the train out here, and then you have to manually run up there and operate the turntable controls yourself. Okay. So it's also meant to be a tutorial about how train turntables work, but I guess they thought that was annoying, so they've changed it so that the guy has to do it for you. And that's why you can't kill him, because he's the only one that can operate the turntable for you to streamline everything. Yeah, why would it slow him down? He can just come on this train with me. We can all just go on a cute little train ride together.
Hey, it's Freeman, right?
Oh my god, this guy was just sitting here the whole time?
Pal said they'd give you a message. You're supposed to take this old rail system up to
He's just holed up here with snacks?
Something. I don't know where it is exactly. The old guy was so worried about getting out alive, he didn't think to stop and tell me. Anyway,
Yeah, in the chat, Zakage says, maybe it would have been cool if you had to operate it yourself, just like in the original, if you killed the guard. That would have been
you'll have
fun.
to get up to the control room and launch it yourself. He said something about a Lambda team needing the satellite in orbit if they were ever going to clean up this mess. Now, get going. I'm going to stick around and help any other stragglers.
I mean, yeah, I guess his life sucks. He's just gonna be trapped here forever, right? Realistically, if I was this guy, I would hitch a ride on this train. I would not be stuck
What's that stench?
underground here and left to die. That seems bad. But you know, yeah, social distancing. You're right. He's actually being very responsible. Oh, there's a very slow train elevator. I guess it's to show off this dynamic flashlight and normal map technology. It does look nice. And now we're on a rail. And I think now's probably a good place to stop. So I'll just save my game right here. Okay, thanks everyone for hanging out. Hope it was fun to watch me play through. What did we play through? We played through Powerup. That was the chapter. It's been about an hour and a half. Also, I have to teach really soon anyway. So fortunately, I have to sign off. Hope you're all doing okay out there. Stay safe in these very interesting times. And have a good rest of your day. Bye.